How's it going, guys? Marco here from NHL News Productions, and today I want to bring you a video about the upcoming NHL trade deadline. Now, it's on March 5th, exactly 5 days away from today, on Wednesday, and I have a list of teams and a list of players that I think are going to go where and when, alright, and why. So first off, I've got Andrew MacDonald. We're going to start off with the little players and then go into the big ones. So, I think he's going to go to the Leafs. Now, look at Toronto. They're 25th in the league for goals against average, 3.00, and they traded for Bernier. You can guarantee that their GM will not be happy about that. Alright, now I know that Andrew MacDonald may not be one of the flashiest sounding defensemen in the NHL. You won't turn on TSN or ESPN and hear the analyst saying, "Oh, what a nice play by Andrew MacDonald." No, but just take a look at this statistic. First in the NHL in block shots, 193 block shots. He can help not only the Leafs, but any team in the National Hockey League keep the puck out of the net. That is a very underrated statistic, and that's why Andrew MacDonald is a very underrated player, and he could be a big attraction in the trade deadline. Alright, so now if you look at the standings, it'll show that the Leafs are 6 points into a playoff spot ahead of the Washington Capitals in the wild card position. Now, no team wants to be in the wild card. You're going to have to face a first-seeded team, and no one wants to do that. But if they want to get up there, they're going to have to fix that bad goals against average, and Andrew MacDonald will be a great addition the way he can block shots. That's why I think he'll be a great addition to the Leafs, and he has low trade value. The next team that I predict that could make a move for AMAC would probably be the Washington Capitals. They're only 3 points out of a playoff spot, and they're missing their good defenseman this year, Jack Hillen. He's expected to miss 4 to 6 months. This is a huge loss for the Capitals, and their goals against average is not that good. 22nd in the NHL. Andrew MacDonald brings a lot to the table again with his shot blocking. He could be a real help for the Washington Capitals this year. The next team I feel that AMAC could go to, the Ottawa Senators. They could really use some help. 5 points out of the final playoff spot behind the Detroit Red Wings. Not too good in terms of goals against average. Third to last in the NHL. Shots against per game. Second to last in the NHL. That's where AMAC can come into play. He's really good at blocking shots. He can limit that number of shots allowed against per game. He can really help the Senators there. I really think that Andrew MacDonald could help the Senators. Final team that I think that could be interested in AMAC, the Edmonton Oilers. The reason why I think that the Oilers could be interested in AMAC is not because of this year, but because of the future. I really think that he has that veteran leadership that the Oilers are lacking. Yes, they signed Andrew Ference, but I honestly really do not think that he has got them to the level that they wanted him to. Their goals against average has been awful. Shots against has been awful. It has just been a complete disaster year for the Oilers. But I do, however, have confidence that the Oilers could make the playoffs next year with some great acquisitions, possibly Andrew MacDonald, and a goaltender. Alright, those are the teams that I think that Andrew MacDonald could get traded to. Alright, time to move on to the next player. The next player on the list is Martin Erat of the Washington Capitals, who demanded to be traded, and I have a good feeling that this guy's going to go to the LA Kings. The main reason is because they're 27th in the NHL when it comes to goals for per game. They have no injuries either. Martin Erat would be the perfect fit for the Capitals. The Kings only have 2.31 goals for per game average. The reason why Erat wanted to be traded was because he wasn't producing as well as he wanted to. He wanted to play for a competitive team. He really wanted to lead him to that Stanley Cup, and the Kings could do that. And when Erat's happy, he can score. Just look at the statistics. He has proven it in the past. Another team that I feel that could make a move for Erat, the Vancouver Canucks. They're currently 4th place in their conference, 1 point out of the playoff spot, and they hired John Tortorella, who you know is not going to be too happy about this record this year. They've also sustained multiple injuries, especially to forwards like Andrew Alberts and Yannick Weber, who Erat could perfectly fit the shoes for, even better than those players. The Canucks need to trade for Erat in order to stay healthy. It's not just injuries that's burning the Canucks. It's also goals for per game. 25th in the league, and they're only averaging 2.36 goals for per game. It's not that good, especially for a team that wants to make the playoffs. That's why they need Erat to help them. Another team that could make a move for Erat, that's in desperation mode, the New Jersey Devils. Last year was an unsuccessful season for the Devils. This year it looks like that may happen too. 63 points, out of the playoffs by 3 points so far, 26th in the league in goals for per game, 2.33 goals for per game average. Martin Erat is the only guy that can come to the Devils' hope, and they need him. The Devils this season have also lost one of their best snipers, Damian Brunner. This is a huge loss for the Devils. Martin Erat needs to fill the shoes. They need to get some kind of forward in, and I don't really think that there is anyone that could come besides Martin Erat that's cheap for the Devils. The final team that I think that could make a move for Erat, the Minnesota Wild. Currently, they're in the wild card. 6 points in ahead of the Phoenix Coyotes. You never want to be in the wild card. You're going to have to face the first-seeded team again. And they're 24th in the league for goals for per game. Not that good. 2.37 they're averaging a game. And they've lost one of their best snipers, Mikko Koivu. Now, Martin Erat did demand a trade twice. And no team ever wants to get into a guy who wants a trade request. But if you look back in the summer, the Wild traded for Nino Niederreiter to the New York Islanders. He sent a trade request. He requested to be traded. And the Wild weren't afraid to acquire him. And they did good with him. So this is why I think that there's a huge possibility that the Wild could be interested in Martin Erat. And you know they want to run for that cup. So these are the teams that I predict that Martin Erat could get traded to. Time to move on to the next player. The next player up is Ryan Callahan. And I have a feeling that this guy is going to go to the Dallas Stars. I don't really think that the Rangers are going to re-sign him just because Callahan wants $7 million. I pause the video and read that article, and yeah, he wants $7 million. But look at this, the Rangers only have $6.78 million. They're not going to be able to afford him, and I don't think that they're going to free up cap space for him. Because look at these stats. He's never had a 30-goal season in his career. Is that really worth $7 million? And the Stars, they have $11.98 million. I really think that they're going to go after him, especially because how competitive the Western Conference is. Look at them, they're only 1 point into the wild card position. You know they want to move up there. And they have Stefan Robidas injured, who provides some veteran leadership, and Callahan has that. He's expected to miss 4 to 6 months. And look at this. The Stars' goals for per game is 2.78. Callahan could add to that. So I really think that that's a high possibility of him going to the Stars.